Sup? I hope you guys like my shirt. This is Greggatron. This video is about negativity and negative people. Stay away from negative people. And I'm only bringing this up because I was having a conversation with my brother and my friend. We're all in a group chat, right? And they're like, "What are you doing today?" And I was like, "Well, me and my homie, we were supposed to go on our motorcycles." And my brother jumps in and he's like, "That's dangerous. You could die." Something like that. Being a negative Nancy. And I'm like, you can also die from driving a pickup truck or a sedan. I'm thinking you could die on a boat. You could die on an airplane, a bicycle, a skateboard. But it's like he's saying this because I'm the one doing it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, long story short, it was kind of cold. So my buddy, he didn't want to go out today because it's only 50 degrees where I live today. So I was like, we're not going to go out. It's cold. Because when you're on a motorcycle, that wind hits you. You know what I'm saying? A t-shirt and a light jacket ain't going to cut it. You gotta have your gear on, right? So I was like, yeah, we're going to wait for a different day. And he's like, good. I'm like, but why do you gotta be so negative about it? If I went out, what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? So be it. But there are people out there, not just him. Because I talk to my brother about this all the time. I'm like, stop it. But he knows what he's doing. Shout out to my brother, I guess. But there's people out there who, it doesn't matter what you do, they'll try to frown upon that. That's why most of my family members, I don't tell them hardly anything anymore. If I do see them at a family event or function, I'll just say, hey, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. I keep that stuff so mild. I don't even talk about my personal life anymore. Not for real. Because it's not just my family, but I notice people are really nosy. And people like to gossip. And they just be getting in your business. I have family members and friends of family, and family of friends. They ask about your relationship. Are you dating anybody right now? Who are you dating? Who are you with? Like, why do you care what I'm doing with my personal life? Anyway, that's about the nosiness. But this video is about negative people. Just stay away. Because negative people, they want you to be negative because they're negative. And they want to bring you down to that lower level of negativity. So let's say you're a positive person or a mild person, whatever. That's too positive for them. So just to get you on the same wavelength as them, they want to bring you down again to that lower level. So y'all are matching wavelengths now. I'm not with that. I'm just going to be me. And I bring my brother up because certain people said the same thing when I got an electric bike. You shouldn't get that. You could get hit by a car. People die on those things. Well, I've had my electric bike for about 3 years now. This summer will be 3 years. So far, I haven't been hit. You know what I'm saying? And I just have a ball on that thing. That thing is my baby. Right? But I went skydiving before. I jumped out of a plane twice. And even when I did that, I have family members who were like, Greg, you shouldn't do that. Greg, that's dangerous. Greg, people die doing that type of stuff. And I rebuked that by saying, for one, we all die. No one is immortal. And two, do you guys remember that TV show? I think it was on FX. It was called 6 Million Ways to Die. There's 6 million ways to die. But people freak out. Coworkers, friends, families. They freak out when you say, I'm going to go skydiving, or I'm going to get a motorcycle, or I'm going to get an electric bike, or whatever. You shouldn't do that. But they say it as if it affects them. Like what I do makes them poop. What I eat makes them poop. The money I make affects somehow their bank account. Not at all. So drop the negativity, because in all actuality, it has nothing to do with anybody but me. And I understand the rules of the road. I was taught in the class, you can't trust anybody on the road. I don't trust people, period, anyway. But my homie told me, he's like, just assume everybody wants to kill you when you're on the road. Just assume people can't see you, right? But they act like I'm not a grown man. Am I not an adult? But so many people have this mama spirit. Like, Greg, that's dangerous. You shouldn't do that. Since when have I feared death? I fought people with guns before. I didn't have a gun, they did. With my bare hands. And survived. So why would I then be afraid of getting on a motorcycle? Like, they act like they don't know me. But the people who are the most concerned about me, they're the ones who know me the most. But the people who don't know me, they don't care either way, again, because they don't know me. Does that make sense? Let me repeat that. The people who are the most worried are the ones who know me. But the ones who don't really know me like that, they don't care. They could take it or leave it. That's a good point. So you're almost better off not telling anybody at all. Or if you do tell somebody, tell people who don't care either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell a perfect stranger. Well, you know you're going to do something dangerous. If you're going to tell somebody who doesn't give a dang. Or just keep it to yourself. But the thing about negative people, they speak stuff into existence. Or they want to. I think it's unconsciously they're doing it. Think about it. If there's a negative Nancy around you saying you shouldn't ride a motorcycle because X, Y, or Z could happen, well, now it's in your mind. Now it's in your spirit. So when you are out on the road, that could really affect you in action. These things can affect your mental and your spiritual. So now when you're out and about, you could be like, man, you know what? Maybe John Doe was right. And that could be the difference between life and death. So the people who are quote unquote the most concerned and worried, they're the ones who are going to kill you, not the fellow drivers and riders. And then if you do die, God forbid, they'll feel guilty. Oh, I should have never told him he'd die on that road. I should have never told him that. That's what I've been saying all this time. You spoke it into existence, and then my ghost will haunt them for the rest of their lives. But no. It's just crazy. And if I don't die on the road, let's just say I get into a crash, right? Those same people will say, I told you. I told you you shouldn't have done that. Like, I just have 0 sense. I just know nothing. I'm just an idiot, right? But hell, we're all idiots, right? So, they want other people, and when I say they, I don't mean just my family. I'm talking about negative people, period. They want other people to live their lives like them, right? So let's say I'm negative and I'm only capable of doing X, Y, and Z. This person over here is positive. He's capable of doing X, Y, and Z, and A, B, and C. Well, since I'm negative, I'm not able to do what this person can do because I don't have that spirit. So I'm going to bring that person down. I think it's jealousy almost. Like, I want this person to live his or her life the same way I am, simply because that's how far I can go. Since I can't do it, I don't want anybody to do it. That's what I'm thinking they're thinking. Am I wrong about that? It's like, let's say you have a buddy who's a computer programmer, a computer whiz, or a genius, or whatever, and let's say he's really good at it. If this person surrounds himself or herself with negative people, those people are just going to say, you shouldn't be working on computers. You're not smart. You're not going to be another Bill Gates. You ain't no Elon Musk. None of that. That negativity will lower that person's spirit. And that person might say, you know what? These people might be onto something. Maybe I'll just flip some patties at McDonald's instead. That's what negativity does. And if I, quote unquote, die or get hurt on a motorcycle, that's what I wanted to do. I have the capacity to live my own life. Does that make sense? We all do. Me, you, everybody. If you want to do something, just do it. I wanted to get bigger and stronger, so I said, you know what? I'm going to start lifting some weights. I wanted to do that. I wanted to buy a house. So I did that stuff. Do not let people talk you out of doing what you want to do. And that's happened to me in the past. I would want to do something, and a family member would say, oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. No, that's dangerous. And then if you end up not doing it, you regret not doing it. So I recommend to adults, if you're 18 and over, do that stuff. Do it. If you're a kid still, obviously you can't do whatever you want. I'm not encouraging people to rob banks and whatnot. I'm saying if you want to learn something, you want to excel in something, you want to be good at something, you want to try something, as long as you're not out here shooting mother lovers and robbing and stealing and killing, as long as you're not an idiot about it, do it. Same thing for the weight room. I tell people, like, let's say I'm bench pressing heavy weight. I know to only go so heavy. Because if I go heavier than that limit, you can murder yourself. Now, if I have a spotter, it's one thing. But without that spotter, you need to be extremely careful with what you're doing. You don't want to throw your back out, your hip, your knee, your shoulder, anything. You don't want to rip anything. I tell people in the gym, don't be an idiot in the gym. But what more can I say? Do not let negative people speak negativity into existence. And if it was to happen, you're just gonna resent that person who's spoken into existence. But if you don't listen to them, it's just you and you and you. That's it. Me, myself, and I. And I'll deal with the consequences. I don't get why that's so hard for people to understand. I just don't get it. Because when I'm around other people at work or at the bank or in the grocery store, I build people up. I'll say, hey man, I like that hat. Or hey man, nice shoes. Or I'll say to a lady, hey, you get your fingernails done? Nice nails. Because you know the teller at the bank is always a woman, right? I say, nice nails. Or I'll say, you got a haircut, didn't you? People like that type of stuff. Or I'll see somebody in the gym like, man, you're making some gains, man. You're making some gains. Yeah, I've been trying, buddy. And people will say stuff to me like, you're looking good, man. I want to look like you and all this stuff. It's mutual. It's no different from saying, hey, man, nice shirt. Or I'll say to people, that's because you're smart, man. You're smart. Or I'll say, hardworking guy right there. Hard worker. But imagine if everybody was negative. Just imagine that. We're already on hell on earth, but we would really be in hell on earth. But just don't let it happen. Just stay away from it. Stay far away. I want to know what you think. Have a good weekend. And peace.